Hi, this is Hong. Today I want to talk about the issue of vagina rejuvenation. I have heard from other people that they think after childbirth or after as we aging, they think their vaginas are getting loose and they want to make it tighten up again. So some people will choose surgeries and some other people will choose to do the hyaluronic acid injection. So those are all personal choices, and if people have the money and they trust the procedure, that's totally up to you. What I want to talk about is the reasoning behind it. Okay, so there are some medical indications to do those kind of therapies because for some women after menopause, they will suffer from a symptom called vaginal or vulval atrophy, which means because lack of the hormones, the vagina tissue, also the vulval, may shrink and dry out. That may cause uncomfortableness. I mean, that's the treatment of that is a procedure approved by FDA. But a lot of other surgeries that cause the vagina to tighten up, a lot of them are not approved by FDA, and there's not a lot of clinical data to show how effective they are. I know someone who swear the hyaluronic acid injection works, but I'm not I am not sure. I haven't read anything about that. So what I want to talk about is if you are doing this for yourself, that's totally fine. But there are times women do that or try to do other kind of things because they are brainwashed or they are kind of controlled or manipulated by their spouse. So it's not about your vagina not being tight enough. It's they're using this to control you. So, for example, there are manipulative guys who want to be in control, right? So they would find a wife or girlfriend who has an equal mate value with them. You're a five, they're a five, so you guys are supposed to be equal. But there are people who has to be in control. So even when they are find in even when they're in a relationship with an equal partner, they still want to be at a higher angle to boss the spouse around. So in that case, they will find something you cannot change and point out saying that's a problem and they love you in spite of that. So that kind of thing can be anything, right? They can say, I prefer to find a blonde girlfriend, but you are black haired. You know, I love you in spite of that. So even you guys are equal match, somehow using this kind of method, you are immediately not good enough for him, right? So he can ask you to do actual things because you're not his type. So the vagina can be another reason, right? They can say, okay, now you're old. I don't feel as pleasured because your vagina is not tight enough. Or after you gave birth, I don't get the excitement I used to get. So if that is the case, that probably is the way they try to stand at a higher position to control you. So my suggestion for that is do not take other people's problem as your problem. So did you feel anything? Did you feel less sensitive during sex? Did you get less excited during sex? So if that is not the case, you don't have to, if he doesn't feel as excited, that's his problem. So we are not in charge of fixing his problem. I believe everyone would find a match. There are bigger goals And there are guys who like bigger girls. There are bigger guys. There are girls who like bigger guys, or there are people who are into all sorts of things. There are aged ladies, and there are guys who like aged ladies. There's always a match for anything. So there are guys who cannot perform sexually, but there are girls who are not interested in sex at all. So in that case, whatever you are, you can always find someone who's totally fine with that or really into that. So in that case, if your spouse telling you that, okay, I don't think you're good enough for me, but I love you in spite of that, your vagina is loose, but I'll just live with it. Don't worry. It's a huge sacrifice, but I love you, but you owe me. Those kind of things. There are always simple solutions for that. If your vagina actually become looser, you can always find a guy with a bigger penis, right? So guys with bigger penis wouldn't even feel that. So, I mean, my video is not to tell people to get into argument with your spouse or even get into a conflict that you want to insult him or anything. But if that's something that he thinks is not working for him, I would think it's a very reasonable solution, because I bet, I mean, there are always girls who have tighter vaginas who fits better with him. So yeah, just do not be defensive or do not be offensive. If that thing was brought up, we just need to communicate with them saying, okay, I bet there are girls with tighter vaginas, so I think you should go find them, and I will have to find some guys with bigger penis who wouldn't mind who I am. So this solution is always better than you trying to change something that almost unchangeable to make someone happy. Or even if you fix that problem, for a spouse who want to control you, they can always find things that is not that you do or who you are that is not good enough for him, and use that as an excuse to make you feel low, make you obey. So I would say if it's something that is almost impossible to fix, do not be defensive. Do not try it too hard. There are always simple solutions. Also, him not feeling the pleasure is his problem, not your problem. So don't try to fix it. He will know how to fix it, and you just need to follow your own heart. Do what you need to do. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.